Yo, what is up, everybody? It is your boy Robbie, aka Bones, and today I'm gonna be talking about what happened this past weekend, UFC 286. It was a pretty solid card, and I'm gonna be recapping and talking about what I think's next for everyone. So, I want to start off with I didn't watch like all the fights, but I watched a good amount of them because there was a couple of them that I missed. So I started with this one. This was the full fight I watched. Lerone Murphy versus Gabriel Santos. This was a very close fight. Lerone Murphy almost got caught in an armbar towards, I think, the end of the second round, if I'm not mistaken. But it was a competitive fight on the feet. Both were landing good shots. But I do see why Lerone Murphy won that fight. By but it was really close. I mean, that's why it was a split decision. If we look at the strike stats, Lerone Murphy, he got taken down a lot, but he also landed 93 significant strikes. So he outstruck Gabriel Santos by, like, let's see. He outstruck Gabriel Santos by 24 significant strikes. Um, okay, so if we look at round by round, we go total strikes even, significant strikes, Gabriel Santos. Okay, so you can give Gabriel Santos the first round because he had more significant strikes, more takedowns, and all the control time. I don't know. Let's see. Does it say how much control time he had? No, it doesn't. But yeah, so I say we could give that round to Gabriel Santos. Then we look at round two. Both got a takedown. Lerone Murphy, so that kind of cancels out with the wrestling. Lerone Murphy outstruck him by like 12 significant strikes, and he also landed more total strikes. So I would say, yeah. That round would have gone to Lerone Murphy as well, and then obviously Lerone Murphy outlanded him by like about like 18 punches in this round, and he had way more significant strikes. So it was a pretty good fight, though, I have to say. It was very competitive, and I don't know who's next for Lerone Murphy. Honestly, maybe he give Charles Jourdain. Although I think no, Charles Jourdain's fighting Colin Gracie next. Um, shit. I don't know, but he's probably got to fight someone outside the top 15, obviously, because he still needs some time to improve, and he's also had a long layoff. So, yeah, okay, so that's the first fight. Muhammad Mokaev versus Jafael Filo was pretty crazy. I mean, it wasn't like the most entertaining, but the one moment in the fight where Mokaev's knee was about to fucking snap, and he just didn't tap out, and then he ended up getting the back and choking out Jafael Filo. And I think Mokaev lost the second round, honestly, or maybe I don't know what it was. I don't know. It's just I feel like Mokaev lost like at least one or two rounds, and I feel like that's kind of been the narrative almost. Like he's in his last couple fights, the fights have been very competitive and not like a clear Mokaev domination, and he just ends up getting the sub. But you know, let's see. Mokaev's ranked number 12 right now. I would say, I don't know. I say he takes a little bit. I'd say he probably will come back around like the Abu Dhabi card. And as of who he should fight, I don't even know, honestly. I'd have to take a look at. Let me look at these rankings actually on my phone. UFC rankings. I believe. Shit, I think he's number 12, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Mokaev is number 12. shit, I don't even really know who he could fight next. Maybe not Manel Cobb. Maybe Matt Schnell. Actually, I don't know. I don't know after this performance if he should go too much up in the rankings. Okay, him and Tim Elliott are actually right by each other in the rankings, and I don't know if Tim Elliott has a fight or not. So him versus Tim Elliott would be an interesting fight. Uh, and if Makayev wins that, then you can give him like maybe like Amir Albazi or Matt Schnell. Next, I didn't. Let's see. Sam Patterson versus Yanal Ashmuz. That knockout was absolutely fucking brutal, and Sam Patterson really doesn't move his head that much, and Yanal Ashmuz just fucking blasted him on the chin, and then landed a lot of follow-up punches on the ground. And when Sam Patterson got up, it was really, I was like concerned because he thought he was still fighting. He was trying to fight the ref. I mean, look at this. He landed a lot of ground and pound, man, and it's just like he literally, yeah. Sam Patterson didn't even see it coming, man. He got slept, and that was a good fight, for Yanal Ashmuz. Very good performance. I honestly thought he could have gotten performance of the night with that knockout. I missed Chris Duncan versus Amar Morales. I kind of saw Jack Shore versus Makwan Amirkhani. I thought the fight was pretty good. Makwan Amirkhani had success like early on, and then Jack Shore found the finish in the second round. So, yeah, I think, Jack Shore, who should he fight next? Depends if he's fighting at featherweight or bantamweight. Because if he's fighting at featherweight, I give him like, not Lerone Murphy, because I don't really see Lerone Murphy winning that fight. That's a tough one. Maybe Nathaniel Wood. That would be an interesting fight between him and Jack Shore. Uh, I don't know who would win that, honestly. So yeah, maybe Nathaniel Wood if he's not booked right now. Yeah, he was supposed to actually be fighting what's his face? He was supposed to be fighting um he was supposed to be fighting Lerone Murphy. Yeah. Oh, and I also wanted to talk about Jake Hadley versus Malcolm Gordon. That knockout was nasty, bro. I mean, those body shots that he landed on Malcolm Gordon were perfect. And then he called out Muhammad Makayev after. Um, Honestly, that actually could be another fight for Makayev and for Jake Hadley as well. Um, Muhammad Makayev. I think that makes sense. Maybe do that in October. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the main card because I saw every fight on the main card. Marvin Vettori versus Roman Dolidze. Marvin Vettori looked all right. He was doing good at chopping the legs. I thought he clearly won the fight. It's just like, man, Marvin, he still looks like his striking's like slow almost. And I think the thing with that is like when you're fighting guys like Alex Pereira, um, Izzy, Robert Whitaker, and he already lost to Izzy and Robert Whitaker. I think that like if you have slow striking and you're just gonna try to wrestle them and hold them against the fence, and they have the type of takedown defense that they do, I mean, Pereira's takedown defense is all right. I haven't really seen much of it, but he did get taken down by Izzy, which is it's questionable, and he also got taken down in his UFC debut. And I think Bruno Silva might have taken him down a couple times too. But yeah, maybe if Vettori wrestles Pereira, but I think he'd probably eat big shots on the feet and get picked apart, honestly, by Pereira. But anyways, this was a good win for Marvin Vettori. I mean, he looked decent. Once again, he looked kind of slow on the feet, but he landed good shots. he might have gotten, no, he didn't get any takedowns, but no, he stuffed the takedown from Roman Dolidze though. That was pretty good. And he outlanded Dolidze, but I don't know, man. It's just like Vettori's in a weird spot right now. Maybe he should fight Cannonier next because I don't think he's gonna fight Sean Strickland because they train together. So I don't really see that happening. But yeah, I'd say do Vettori versus Cannonier next because that's like the only guy in the top 5 that really makes sense for him right now. Then we got Jennifer Maia versus Casey O'Neill. I didn't really think too much of this fight. I mean, it was a good fight. They both landed a lot of output. I think Jennifer Maia looked really good. She landed she looked slick on the feet, like with her boxing. You know, she displayed very good boxing against Casey O'Neill. What do I think of that? I don't know. I mean, Casey O'Neill is it's a pretty solid fighter. I mean, she was 9-0 coming into this, so it's a good win for Jennifer Maia. I think Jennifer Maia is like number 8 in the rankings, so I would have to check out the rankings, see who she should fight next. Cause you see, here's the thing with women's flyweight is like it's always hard to tell like who should really be fighting, cause not a lot of them are active as much. Actually, no, the top 5 is pretty active. You know, you got Jessica Andrade, Erin Blanchfield. I say, yeah, it's Jessica Andrade, Erin Blanchfield, Tyler Santos. Yeah, that's all of them. And Manon Fiora and Valentina. And then obviously the champ is Alexa Grasso. Let's see. So if Maya's number 8, she should fight Lauren Murphy because Lauren Murphy's right above her. Because I think Maya already lost to Caitlin Chikagian, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't remember. But yeah, I would honestly say that Lauren Murphy's probably the best matchup for her right now, or maybe even Amanda Hebos. That could be an interesting scrap too. All right, getting on to the this fight, Gunnar Nelson versus Brian Barberena. I think, yeah, Gunnar Nelson got performance of the night. Gunnar Nelson looked very good, man. He looked very good. I mean, he got Brian Barberena down fairly quickly. Like after he shot on him, you know, Brian Barberena didn't give up his back, which was good, but I mean, Gunnar Nelson just found that arm bar, started hitting him with some. I think he hit him with some elbows before, and then he pulled the arm, and Brian Barberena tapped. And that's the thing, man. Brian Barberena's grappling is very, it's very, like, lacking almost because, I mean, you think about it, he just fought grapplers in his last 2 fights. He fought RDA in Orlando. I was at that fight. He got taken down and submitted fairly quickly. Well, not quickly, but RDA was controlling him. And, you know, when it was on the ground, it wasn't really competitive for Barberena. Then we got Fiziev versus Gaethje. That fight was absolutely insane. It was a very competitive fight. The main thing about Fiziev is that he gassed his cardio. His cardio is a big issue. It was a close fight, honestly. Some people even are saying Gaethje lost that fight. But, you know, I gave Gaethje the 2nd and the 3rd round. I don't know about people giving Rafael Fiziev the first 2 rounds. I gave him the 1st round for sure, and the 2nd round was close, but I think Gaethje edged it out. And Gaethje got his first career takedown, which was pretty interesting to see, because he was hinting at mixing in the grappling a little bit, and, you know, he got his takedown finally, and he said everyone could shut the fuck up now. But yeah, if we look at all the strikes by Fiziev landed, they're all significant, and he also outlanded Gaethje. Landed some clean body kicks, good punches. Gaethje landed a solid calf kick at the beginning of the round, made Fiziev spin around, but it was a good round, and Fiziev definitely won that round because, you know, he was doing the more solid work, working the body and all that. I thought Gaethje won the 2nd round. you know, because I thought towards the end he kind of stole the round. He landed some pretty big shots on Fiziev, and yeah, I mean, he landed good shots on Fiziev, and also Fiziev started to tire towards the end of that round. You kind of started to see his output slow down, and Gaethje caused some visible damage to Fiziev's face before that or during that round too. And as we know, like the Weasel says, and like everyone knows, damage trumps all when it comes to scoring. So you'd have to give Justin Gaethje that round. Well, maybe not have to, but because there is an argument for Fiziev winning the round. But I still say Gaethje won that round, and I gave Gaethje round 3 easy because I mean he outlanded Fiziev by a lot. He landed a takedown. He was jabbing Fiziev, landed some solid uppercuts on Fiziev, and yeah, I think Gaethje won the fight. But you know who should he fight next? Dustin Poirier. It's a great rematch. I say Dustin beats him again, but it's a close fight, man. Gaethje's improved since they first fought. Then we got the main event, Usman versus Edwards. Very competitive, but Edwards, man, what just happened, bro? Sorry, all my computer screen just went like black for a second. There we go. All right. Okay, so we got Edwards versus Usman 3. Pretty competitive. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman 3. It was a pretty good fight. It was a pretty competitive fight. You know, Edwards was slamming Usman's legs the whole time because he knew he had bad knees, and also Usman was expecting kicks to go up high because, you know, he got knocked the fuck out in the last fight with a head kick. But yeah, Leon was doing some solid body work, solid with his kicks, solid leg kicks, landed some good shots on the feet. The second round was close. I thought Leon won the second round because I thought he landed the cleaner shots on the feet. You know, he landed that knee and that left hand. And he landed a lot of leg kicks that round, so I thought Edwards won that fight. Or Edwards won that round. Usman, that's easy round for him. He definitely won that round. Plus the point deduction gives it a 10-8. Round 4, Leon outlanded him, and I definitely thought Leon won this round because I thought, honestly, Leon won 4 rounds to 1 because Usman was really having trouble taking down Edwards. I mean, Edwards was separating the hands, getting back to space, kicking him, and, you know, he was more effective in this fight. And then I definitely thought Leon won the 5th round. I mean, he landed some solid uppercuts, hooks, landed some good kicks to the legs and the body, landed a head kick up top that got partially blocked by Usman because he saw it coming. And he got the hand up in time, but it still definitely got in there, just not as much as it would have if Usman didn't block it, because we know what happens when Usman didn't block the head kick. But yeah, overall, it was a solid card. It was entertaining. I was glad it started during the day because, you know, I don't have to stay up until fucking 2 a.m. watching fights. But it was a solid fight. Fight of the night was definitely Gaethje and Fiziev. And you know, I'm surprised the Anal Ashmos didn't get performance of the night as well because he landed a clean knockout. But not Brian Barberena, Gunnar Nelson and Jake Hadley got performance of the night because their performances were just insane and very dominant because they kind of just made easy work of their opponents. So yeah, and who should Edwards fight next? I mean, Dana already said it. He's going to probably be fighting Colby next, even though Colby doesn't deserve it. Colby's been sitting on his ranking for almost a year. I think over a year, actually. And literally, here's the thing, bro. Colby has been fucking inactive. His last 2 wins are over old guys who were coming off of a 2-loss streak. And it's like, bro, your last two wins were over people who weren't even coming off a win themselves. So it's like, it's not really that impressive. And he lost to Usman again. Um, I think Edwards beats Colby. I think stylistically it's a good fight, but I don't really understand why Colby's getting the title shot. It's strange. I guess there's really no one else in the top five right now that's earned a title shot, but no one in the top five has really earned a title shot. I mean, think about it. Colby's number two, Hamzat's number three, missed weight by 8 pounds. Colby's number two. He's coming off a win over Jorge Masvidal. You got Usman, who just lost to Edwards twice in a row. You got four. Who's number four? I forget between who number four is, if it's Gilbert Burns or Bilal. I think it's Gilbert Burns, but I'm not sure. I think Gilbert Burns is actually number five. Let me see. Yeah, Gilbert Burns is number five, and number four is Bilal, which I kind of don't agree with because I think Gilbert's a better fighter overall than Bilal Muhammad, and also Bilal beat Sean Brady, who is like, I don't even think he was even close to the top five yet. Yeah, Sean Brady's like number 9, and somehow that got Bilal Muhammad up the rankings. But I think they said they were going to do Bilal versus Shavkat next, and obviously the winner of Jorge versus Burns will be an interesting fight. But immediate, it's going to be Colby because he's number 2, so he's the closest guy to the title coming off a win and hasn't missed fucking weight. Because, Chimaev's coming off a win, but he missed weight by 8 pounds in his last fight when he was literally the main event and ruined the entire card. So he doesn't deserve it. And that Dana has been saying he's going to move up to 185 and probably fight one of the top 3 guys. I say you give Hamzat and Whitaker. I say Whitaker versus Hamzat's the next fight to make if you're going to do that, because Izzy's fighting Adesanya right now. Or Izzy's fighting Pereira right now. And that just makes the most sense right now for Whitaker, is probably to fight a guy coming up. And I think Whitaker beats Hamzat. I know everyone's like on this big Hamzat hype train where they're like, Hamzat's unbeatable. Let me tell you, Whitaker is probably around the same weight as Hamzat. Not a shorter opponent. He's like maybe he's a couple inches shorter. But he's not like a super shorter opponent like Gilbert Burns was. He has great striking, great ability to enter in and out of the pocket. Hamzat's biggest weakness is like he doesn't really move his head a lot, and also you got to think that Whitaker is going to be a tough guy to take down because he's a good grappler himself, and he's also known as kind of an anti-wrestler and a really hard guy to take down. So I think that if Hamzat's fighting bigger guys, and if he was having trouble getting Gilbert Burns and Kevin Holland to the ground when they're much smaller opponents, I think that I wouldn't, well, maybe not much smaller, but significantly smaller opponents, I think that, what's his name, Whitaker will beat him, because Hamzat, he also has shown questionable cardio. Now, am I saying Hamzat's a bad fighter? Absolutely not. Am I saying Hamzat doesn't have the potential to be a future champion if he gets his cardio in order? No. I'm saying that right now, even when he fought Kevin Holland, he was starting to look a little winded because of, he shot straight away and was like using so much energy to get him to the ground. And, he started seeing Chimaev breathing a little heavy and all that. And that's the last fight we've seen out of Hamzat, so it's really the only way to judge how he is right now because he hasn't fought since September. But yeah, I would say that Whitaker beats Hamzat. So yeah, but with that, it's like if Hamzat's moving up to 185, Usman's just lost to Edwards twice. The only guy in the top 3 that's coming off a win and like I said hasn't missed weight is Colby. And Colby also fought as or weighed in as the backup and was in the building. So it's like you obviously know. And they're already trying to fucking market it by DC saying there's a guy in this building who talks a lot. So yeah, that's definitely I would say probably the next fight. And we've got Bilal versus Shavkat, as Dana said. I think Shavkat smokes Bilal. I don't think that fight's gonna be close. And there's some interesting challengers for Edwards on these next two welterweight fights. I mean, if Masvidal beats Burns, Masvidal and Edwards have had a lot of beef. If Burns beats Masvidal, Edwards and Burns haven't fought before, and Burns has an interesting style. I think Edwards probably beats Gilbert because Gilbert probably wouldn't be able to take him down, and also Gilbert has a questionable ability to take a punch. I love Gilbert though. He's my favorite welterweight, but I think Leon probably beats Gilbert, but he also doesn't want to get caught by like an overhand or something by Gilbert or get caught in like a submission when he's attempting like a takedown. If he attempts, because I mean Edwards has attempted takedowns in like his last 3 fights, so I mean I would say he probably would shoot on Gilbert at some point in the fight maybe. But yeah, I think that Edwards would most likely win that fight as long as he doesn't get caught in a crazy finish or overhand, something like that, caught in a crazy submission or anything like that. So, with that being said, great card. I'm very excited for the next 2 events because we've got Cheeto versus Corey Sandhagen coming up next weekend, and then I don't know. April 8th is Pereira versus Izzy too. You gotta make Pereira the A side, sadly. But yeah, I think Pereira is gonna be Izzy. But that event is with that welterweight fight with Burns and Jorge Masvidal. So, we might even see a new contender for Leon in that event. And with 135, we got Cheeto and Corey. It's going to be a crazy fight. And yeah, so I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed watching the fights, and I'll see you guys in the next video.